Yeah, like Andrew says, my first time up here, so please go easy on me. I don't have any naked pictures or anything like that, so sorry to disappoint straight away. But I do want to share with you a story from my life that I had when I was in the military. It can be a little bit confronting. But it was in January 2013 in Afghanistan, and we were aboard Black Hawk helicopters flying in to a valley in southern Afghanistan, hunting down a Taliban high-value target, so HVT. That was our mission. So we landed, we secured the perimeter, and then we slowly squeezed the target, clearing compound by compound as we went. But as the saying goes, no plan survives first contact. And that's what happened. We had a contact and we suffered a casualty. The casualty was all right, they were in stable condition, but our immediate mission pivoted now to finding a suitable HLZ, or helicopter landing zone, so we could get a aeromedical evac bird or helicopter in, load up the casualty and continue on mission. So myself, a colleague of mine who was a dog handler, we were tasked with finding and securing this HLZ. So off we went, me, my colleague and his trusty dog, a Belgian Malinois named Fax. So Fax was a brilliant dog. He was an absolute weapon machine. And he was out front as we were off we went looking for this HLZ. So we're guns up, tension's really high, and we're moving through the desert looking for this HLZ. We know there's bad guys out there because we've already had a contact. As I'm looking out front, I'm watching Fax, and he's doing what he does best. He's sniffing in the wind, trying to be our early warning. And his head pops up, it shoots 90 degrees, he lifts a bit, and he's got something on the wind. He darts off to a rock formation down a little creek line, and then we hear a bit of a scruffle, a bit of a growl, and then bang, there's a shot. It was an ambush. Fax had triggered the ambush, which gave us enough time to then react and find cover. We quickly dove behind cover, gunfire erupted. It pinned my mate down pretty well. Most of the gunfire was concentrated on him. Fax was down, he'd copped one at close range, and I was there, and there was a split second where my brain was trying to process everything, what's going on and what to do. And that moment you either freeze or you act. So I moved, I found some high ground off to the side, came around on the flank of the ambush, neutralised the enemy, and then that was it. The gunfight was over just as quick as it started. We moved in, secured the ambush site, and then we saw Fax lying there, motionless, bleeding out. So we did everything we could. We started doing CPR on him. I'd never done CPR on a dog before, so it was quite challenging, but I quickly had to learn how to do it, grab his snout, breathe through his snout, close his mouth. But he had so much blood building up inside him every time I was taking a breath for him. Mouthfuls of blood were coming back up into mine. I was spitting it out and doing it again, which I can still taste today. But we did everything we could for about 40 minutes before the AME bird arrived. It landed, but unfortunately we lost him just before the bird landed. So we loaded him up. We loaded the other casualty up who was in a stable condition, and then there was no time to grieve. We still had to finish our mission, which was to hunt down the HVT, or the Taliban high-value target. So we spent the rest of the day looking for him. But that moment changed everything for me. From that, I was a qualified sniper at the time. That was my specialty. But from that moment on, I vowed to spend the rest of my military career and post-career dedicated to dogs and working dogs. So I went back from that tour and I quickly done the combat assault dog handling course and became what was known as a doggy. I got paired with a special Malinois named Kenny, and don't let his name fool you. He was a killer. But most of the time, he suited his name. He was a bit special. Actually, his nickname amongst the boys was Special K. But yeah, but he was a crowd favourite. He was good. But we did everything together. We were paired up. We did missions for many, many years, and everything I did, he had to do as well. So we parachuted, skydived from 14,000 feet together. Him strapped on the front of me. We did fast roped out of Black Hawk helicopters onto a moving cargo ship in the middle of the ocean. Abseiling, close quarter combat, room clearances, swimming up to beaches from Zodiacs. Everything I was expected to do, he was expected to do as well. But unfortunately, it takes a toll on the body. As it does with us, it takes a toll on their body as well. So when he was about 8 years old, I noticed when he was sitting, he wasn't sitting quite right. One of his legs was sticking out, and something wasn't quite right. So I took him to the vet, and we did some scans, and the vet said, yeah, he's got some spinal injuries. You could probably work him for another year or so, but he will deteriorate fast, and he won't have much of a retirement. So at that moment, I just said, that's it, he's retiring, and retire he did. He took to retirement really, really well, actually. But so he came home with me, beach walks, river swims, cafe lunches. He's got a thing for little dogs, so he kept trying to eat all the little dogs. But and then my couch, loved my couch and loved my bed as well. Turns out he was a big softie and quite a snuggler. But it does take a toll on their body. He's still going now. He's 15 years old. Still, he can't get up on my bed anymore, but but he's doing well. But that's the thing that not a lot of people understand, is that when a military working dog retires, it's not like us. They don't get a pension. They don't get medical benefits. They don't get any financial support. They just retire, they go to the handler, and the financial burden and mental burden is on that handler for the rest of that dog's life. Now, I've seen some good blokes, some mates of mine, who have almost cracked under the pressure to gather tens of thousands of dollars, because we know these vet bills aren't cheap, to try and give surgery to save the life of their best mate who once saved their life in Afghanistan. These blokes have got kids, mortgages, sometimes PTSD, and now the added burden of trying to come up with this financial support for their best mate. But they do it. Of course they do. These dogs never once let us down. Were always by our side and could always be trusted. So that's why I started the charity Working Paws Australia. It's a charity that supports and cares for retired military working dogs. These dogs, they serve just as much and just as hard as us, and they deserve a dignified retirement post-service. So we raise money to help support that, to pay for all their medical bills, take that financial and mental burden off the handler, and make sure all these dogs get the retirement they deserve. Because these dogs deserve to be a dog, to go down to the park, to go to the beach, to jump in your bed, and have a go at all the little dogs at the cafe. They deserve that. So if you're to ask me why I do it, why I started this charity, and why I put a lot of effort into it, it's because of dogs like Fax, because of dogs like Kenny. We came home. I know I certainly came home because of Fax. We came home because these dogs didn't think twice, never gave up on us. So now it's our turn to never give up on them and make sure they get all the care and support they need, because not every dog makes it home, and not every dog gets to the couch. Thank you.